despite its decline, I think the sheep herding industry, both historically and now, is still part of kind of the Western mythos that we all live with today. These H-2A visas, they're unlike other work visas in that your legal status in the country is actually tied specifically to your employment. If you work for a particular rancher and you decide to leave your job without authorization, you actually are violating the terms of your visa and become essentially undocumented. Sheepherders sometimes choose to leave and take jobs in construction or in restaurants or other industries where they might be able to earn higher pay. A lot of ranchers don't like that.
Are sheepherders talking to each other? How does this information about this abuse get out? Because when you look at the history of coverage of this industry, other than the Statesman, frankly, like there is a huge amount of pretty positive coverage of the sheep herding industry, right?
Yes.
Like photo essays in national publications, glowing, profiles of this sort of glamorous industry. And we talked a lot about like that person taking those pictures must have been standing next to a labor violation. In so many cases, you can look in those photos, and if you know what you're looking for, you can see the decrepit housing, the lack of food, the like dangerous conditions. You can see them, but the coverage has been glowing. And it made me so curious about like at a local level, who knows that this is actually happening?
These sheepherders are in some cases in touch with each other. They have networks of current and former sheepherders that they'll stay in touch with. These workers are really only complaining when they're in a really bad situation, because they're coming from a country where there aren't a lot of opportunities to earn a good income. They don't want to risk having to go home and lose their job. The benefit that all of us have, if you have a problem with your employer, you can leave and get a new job. That doesn't apply to these workers. They can't do that. And so their options are basically go home or try to grit their teeth and bear it. If these workers could say, I'm going to go work for the guy down the street, I'm not going to work for it anymore and put up with this situation, that would in itself kind of help self-regulate the industry by making it so that a rancher would have more incentive to ensure that they were following the rules, because to not do so could mean they might lose their workers to another employer.